Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T-Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. We are in a very special place and going to introduce you to some very, very special people. We are at the Speedzeum Museum, a Museum of Natural History and Science in Owensboro, Kentucky, and there is a wing of this thing called the Speedzeum. And the Speedzeum is the host to the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. So you come over here, you go through here, and, boy, you see some really cool stuff. This thing has grown a bunch since last year, hasn't it?
Oh, big time. The displays are different, newer. A lot of this neat old stuff that you and I grew up looking around, you know.
Well, you have the honor of your dad being a member of this Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. That's a pretty good honor from when you walk through here and you see all the people that are here and the people and the faces and the history that's gone on, race people in Kentucky. Man, this is cool.
It was sure an honor to have Pop, you know, in 2012. And a bigger honor for you to induct him. That was pretty cool.
Well, it was my honor to do that because he was sort of part-time daddy to me, you know. Or at least he was for sure when I got in trouble.
You mean that brothers by different mothers?
Yeah, there you go. When I got in trouble, he just stepped right up and corrected me just like he did you. But this place over here is a must-come-to, guys.
It's one of the best-kept secrets in Kentucky.
It really is, and there is so much history in here from the unlimited hydroplane that goes 2 stories that belong to my buddies. If you've listened to our intro show, the Sterrett family with Mr. Sterrett and Billy and Terry, that boat, the Miss Chrysler Crew boat, the unlimited hydroplane that had the automotive power. All the rest of them had Allison aircraft engines and stuff like that, and Mr. Sterrett put a 426 blown Hemi in a hydroplane and spanked them like a stepchild. I mean, he won the Gold Cup. He won everything with that boat. But the Miss Chrysler Crew boat goes all the way from the basement all the way up through the second story of the Motorsports Hall of Fame.
So you can see it on each floor, actually.
Yeah, you can go up and down the steps and see underneath it, and what really made it tick, and that's really cool. Right across from it, the restored top fuel car of the one and only Mr. Dale Funk and the Kentucky Moonshiners. It's right across the hall here. There are a lot of round track cars here. Our buddy Dennis Collins, one of his quarter midgets, is here. Man, you can just spend days here.
And for the motorcycle fans, the Hayden family has a real cool display.
Oh, yeah.
And Army's artwork is fantastic.
Yeah, your host for this show, guys, and the introduction or the ceremonies, if you will, our buddy, Mr. Army Armstrong. If you've watched any Truck and Tractor Power TV or anything like that, Army is the hostess with the mostest, I guess you'd say. But he is a very, very multi-talented gentleman, not only with a microphone in his hand, but when you walk around to the Hayden's display and see some of the paintings this guy's done. You know, I never knew he was an artist like that.
I didn't either, but he missed his calling, didn't he?
Yeah, they need to hang some of these things in a gallery instead of having them here where all the race cars and stuff are. But there's a lot of guys we're going to get to introduce you to that are inducted into
real
this.
legends.
Yeah, Mr. In this year's Rossiter, there is some really, really heavy hitters. Mr. Carl Casper, the guy that's put on all the custom auto shows for 50 years, will be inducted in today's deal. Of course, my buddy, Mr. Bob Taylor, will be in here. Mr. Harold Chubb Loran will be here. I mean, there's just the hits just keep on coming.
Cooks,
V.V.
Senior
Cook,
and Junior. How cool is that?
Yeah, the world famous Chevrolet dealers here. And you know,
the Cat in the Hat.
The Cat in the Hat. Mr. Jack Roush is getting inducted here. And I think Susan will be here. I think Jack's off playing NASCAR cars, but we'll find out. Imagine that. I mean, guy with just a little responsibility.
I want to ask what size hat it is.
Yeah, it's got to be great big.
The dude's known about his hat.
Yeah, right. Some guys that aren't with us anymore but had a very, very significant place in automotive history are here, and I mean, are being inducted.
The late Chuck Wanders.
Yeah,
there's cars here.
Right. We have the cars here, and we have a lot of memorabilia of them here. And their family is here for their induction ceremony. Pretty much tea like you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Elmo had checked out when he got in here. And
it's a shame a lot of these folks. I mean, I know you don't really know at the time, but if they could be here just to know what people thought of them and some of the old stories, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, quite a few of them are still here. We've got some actual living legends here that we're going to get to talk to, we're going to get to introduce you to, and find out just a little bit about their story, and that's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to have a big time. I'm looking forward to this one.
I like just the memorabilia they've got hanging around. It just keep you captivated looking at it.
Yeah, and our buddy Cooper Hayden, we could not.
Oh, what a champ.
We could not have a more gracious host for us. They've asked us 3 or 4 times, is everything okay? I mean, we're used to getting kicked out in the dirt,
Well, I hope he's around supper time.
Yeah, maybe we can get a little dinner. But I look across, and of course, Cooper has a huge display here, he's the fastest guy from Kentucky in the funny cars and the fuel dragsters and stuff. But he has a mannequin with one of his fire suits on it, and I've spoken to it about 3 times.
I believe he can still wear it.
Yeah, I believe he probably could. I don't think I can, but I know he can. But this is going to be a fun show, guys. You're going to get to meet some really, really cool people. We're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and then we're going to get this thing started. We're going to fire it up, I guess you'd say.
Everybody needs to stick around. This will be one heck of a show here.
This will be a good one,
These cats
guys.
can rock.
This will be a good one. We're live at the Museum of Science and History, the induction ceremonies of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. You are on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and we have our first victim. Seems like a pretty nice fella here, and what I really enjoyed about reading his biography is you're into a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of stuff. And,
yes, sir.
Mr. Ken Ryder, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
For an old fat guy, I'm okay. Have a little fun.
I heard that.
You're a man that's wore a lot of hats. And a lot of round track hats. You've been run ARCA races. You've run all kinds of stuff. But
motorcycle rider.
Yeah,
gun shooter.
Motorcycles and guns and bowling and model airplanes. Now, how in the world do you put all that together?
Oh, it takes a lot of years.
Does it? I tried to. I thought I was going to. Of course, we're old racers too,
Yeah.
And I thought I would try the radio control stuff, but I bought a helicopter.
Oh, my gosh.
That's like flying a weed eater.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, they are hard. How long did it take you to master the airplane?
Oh, I don't know, probably 6 months.
Really?
I've wrecked a lot of them.
Well, you didn't wreck a race car, did you?
Occasionally.
Well, they got you after a fella passed away. They got you to come out back to the race cars and play some more. You wound up being a called-in driver, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. Well, was it? Let me ask you: when you decided to stop, was it hard?
Well, yes and no. I wanted to play on the river with my boat. I had a nice little cruiser.
Okay.
Well, it's 36 foot. Double cabin.
That's a nice little cruiser. That'll get you up and down from one dock to the other.
Oh, yeah.
One dock. That was a good one.
Yeah. So you tried fast boat or just a cruising boat?
It would run about 29 mile an hour, maybe 30.
That's probably fast enough. It's not like the Miss Chrysler Crew over here or anything.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, out of all the stuff, and I know that the stock cars are probably going to be your favorite. But what come in second? Because let me tell you why I'm asking. A lot of race car guys when they quit, they spend the rest of their life trying to fill that void with stuff. Is that true, or is that?
Well, yes, to a certain extent. I've done a lot of stuff, and it's kind of hard to say. I got into shooting sporting clays and traps, and I liked that real well.
Did you?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But everybody seems like they're always looking to fill the void that the race car is a hard thing to fill. Now,
Yes.
as
Yeah.
far as the excitement and the fun and that's a hard thing to put back in there, or it was for me, and I haven't got it done yet,
Well, I had the chance to get back in it, and I took it.
So
and
you
that's
did.
the way it was.
Did
But I had to get a Harry Hyde card in order to go back with them.
well, you had to have good stuff,
That's right.
I guess when you get to the top of your game like you were, you sort of got to have good stuff to go back. You got what's old saying? You never miss it if you never had it, but once you've had it, you got to have it.
Yeah, you're right there.
What's a favorite race you won?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I think the International 500, ARCA.
Okay.
I had 2 laps over Raymond Scott at the end of the race. So
I'd say
That's a pretty comfortable lead there, wasn't it, Ken?
you had a little cushion.
I could take it easy for a while.
You had a little cushion. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
The Night Rider.
Yeah,
I see
there
they
you go.
got to know the fans calls it. That's a neat name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every good racer needs a good nickname.
Yo, you gotta
the
have a nickname.
Intimidator, the Night Rider.
Right.
Yeah. How'd the Night Rider come about?
Oh, my gosh. That's what I had on my back of my boat.
Oh, well, yeah, but they didn't get behind the boat to figure that out.
No, I don't reckon, but I don't know. They just come up with it, I guess.
Well, you guys always, all you round track guys, when you get boats, you always come up with real cool names for them, and the Night Rider's cool. I'll never forget Earnhardt's boat. It was Sunday Money.
Yeah.
Sunday
Sunday
Money.
Money,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it was. And they all got real cool names. I know my buddy David Green that lives over here, he got off into some boat racing and stuff, playing and stuff, and they all got good names, Excited about getting inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Pretty good honor.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Well,
Congratulations.
yes, sir.
Ken.
We
Yes,
want to
sir.
congratulate you. But, did you ever think when you were winning all those races that a deal like this would happen?
Never in my mind. No.
Really?
Never thought of it.
What'd you think when they called you and told you that they were going to put you in there?
Well, I had to have a beer or two.
Well, that'll work.
That's
that'll
the
work.
best answer we've had.
I love that answer. The thing that's really cool about racers is they don't hold anything back, buddy. They let them rip and go on about your merry way. If
Still
you-
looking for that sponsorship. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
that's
a
what it
beer
is.
company.
Yeah. So, can you imagine having a beer sponsor, right? Yeah. If the opportunity came about and you were to sit back in the seat, would you go?
I would try it.
Would
There
you?
you go.
Does it ever go away? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Does the
Well, no.
does the urge ever go away to want to?
Not for me. I've always thought that I'd like to get back in it, but, now I don't know because I'm getting a little age on me, I guess.
Well, I tell you what, our mind tends to write checks that our body can't cash.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
right.
Listen, my friend, it is our pleasure and our honor to get you to spend a few minutes on Event Radio. We are excited about the induction ceremony. We sort of do a little pre to it, where people can get to meet you a little bit on this thing and get to know what's going to happen. But we're looking forward to hearing your little speech that you've got prepared. I'm sure you got a good one. And
We've got the original Night Rider.
yeah, we got the original. We forget them Pontiacs with that light across there.
Heard that.
Yeah, we've got the original. Guys, the one and only Mr. Ken Ryder has joined us on Event Radio, and we appreciate you doing that, sir. And thank you for all that you've done in the past and all the people and the people you've entertained,
All right. And we thank you for having me.
Hey, we enjoyed it. Guys, we're at the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions. We're going to get out of here and take a quick break. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and we have the gentleman that is the Pioneer Award winner, Mr. Tony Schiller. How are you, sir?
Great.
Having fun so far?
Oh, yeah.
All these pretty girls hanging around. What is this, animal magnetism or something? You got this pretty woman that's staying
Yeah.
with you?
I'm still drinking whiskey and chasing women.
Oh, is that what it is? And you've been doing that for a couple of years? You
It
said?
seems to be working.
It's got to be working. Got to be working. You actually saw the very first Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to any on the beach?
Yeah. Went to the beach first.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you like the best?
Speedway.
Did you? Do you
Yeah.
like it better?
Mm-hmm.
Was it maybe because you could see more of it, or
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, we could go on the highway and went up on the blacktop, and on the beach you couldn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, but it has to be. I know that we go down there a lot because Terry's an old pro motorcycle racer,
Yeah.
and he goes down or used to go down. We've gotten old now; we don't get to go anymore. But
We go spectate.
yeah, we're good spectators. But where the first turn restaurant is,
Yeah.
they said that there was some kind of building there, and boy, you could watch them. They were just almost like in the front door, coming through there.
I used to eat there all the time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Tell us just a little about your race career, because it said you started out and you wanted to do it so bad you even funded it out of your own pocket. Is that right?
Always.
Really?
Yeah.
Was there ever a sponsor?
RC Cola will get uniforms and all the pop I could drink.
Well, they must not give you a whole lot. You didn't have to stop and go to the bathroom. So, what about there's moon pies go with RC Cola? Why didn't you get them?
Moon pie.
Did you
yeah.
get some of them?
Oh yeah, moon pies and RC Cola.
Yeah, that's that. Now you're talking about doing all that drinking. Was most of it RCs? Or-
Yeah.
That's what I thought. See that? Yeah, we're not going to tell anybody about it, right? Yeah. Being a inductee in the Motorsports Hall of Fame, is that a big deal to you?
That's the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Is it really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you think when they told you that you were going to do this?
Oh, I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
had a stroke and I can't hardly talk.
Well, you're doing pretty good with
Good
us.
job.
Hey, you're doing something right. You got all these pretty girls over here. That didn't affect you that way. There you go. See?
Tony, you had some pretty good rivals during your racing career, didn't you? Like
Oh,
Benny
yeah.
Parsons. I mean,
Oh yeah, I raced with Benny for years.
rubbed fenders quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, Darrell, Walter, raced with Darrell.
Which one was the toughest out of those two?
Oh, Benny.
Benny was.
Yeah, Benny.
What did it feel like sitting on the line at the ARCA race? I mean, you got ready to roll out. Was that a rush, something you always wanted to do? Like, here
Yeah.
I am?
The first time I run down there, I sat there and I went to sleep in the car when
Uh-uh.
I got ready to qualify.
That's what you call ice in your veins, right? Everybody else would be panicking. You go to sleep in the car. But you say Benny is tougher than Darrell, huh?
Oh yeah, he was tough.
Is it because the old moonshiners deal? Is that it? Those guys raced all through the Carolinas before there was a racetrack.
Yeah, but Benny, he drove taxi cabs in Detroit.
Oh, really?
That would do it.
That'll do it. all he's got to do to be a little better is go to New York City, and then he could just really get crazy. But Detroit's got to be better. Did he? I never knew that.
Yeah, he lived in Detroit. When
Oh,
we was
okay.
racing with us, he lived in Detroit.
Really?
Yeah.
What else did he do that you can tell us about? Not much. Okay. you don't want us to probe into those years too much. Is that what you're saying?
When he won the championship, he called me and told me to come get all these parts for his Ford.
Uh-huh.
He traded for Chevrolet.
Uh-huh.
So I went there and got 3 truckloads of parts. And Man DeWitt owned the racetrack and sponsored that car, Benny's. I asked him, I said, what do I owe you? And he said, $1,000. I raced 5 years and didn't spend a dime.
Well, now that's the smart way to do
Yeah.
it. See, and do you think that a lot of these guys nowadays with the big dollar sponsors, does that really hurt them?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
Yeah.
You don't think it makes it too easy?
No.
You don't?
It's still hard.
Oh well, yeah. I mean that's you get some people talking about the guys that ran 35th or something like that. They're still faster than anybody you ever met. To even be in there.
Mm-hmm.
If age were not a factor and you had the opportunity to get another car tomorrow, would you go?
Definitely.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. What have
In
you,
a heartbeat.
What have you found to sort of pacify you since the race car days? Because we were talking earlier. That's a hard shoe to fill because once you've had that experience, there's not much else that sort of gets up to it, is there?
Yeah, fishing.
Oh,
My girlfriend made me a fisherman.
Oh, really?
She made me a monster.
So now, what kind of fishing do we do?
Bluegill and
Oh, you want a little action?
bass and
Yeah, you want some action,
Yeah.
right? Do you ever do any ocean stuff?
oh yeah.
Do you? I could never ride the boat.
Tony, I want to know which girlfriend it is. You got women hanging all around you.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, what is the deal here?
What's the-
This one that I was with, Judy.
Okay, all right. But she's made the fisherman out of
You
you.
always
Huh?
made a fisherman.
That's cool.
You had a little mishap at Daytona, didn't you? About 180 miles an hour.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Ball joint pulled out and hit the fourth turn.
Ooh, that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Those
Hit the
walls,
wall.
they
Hit the
don't
wall.
move, they don't move very well, do
No.
they? And it's pretty much an abrupt stop.
Yeah.
The banking at Daytona, it's always been as high as it is now, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
How in the world?
You can't walk up it.
Oh no, I've tried. I've been at the top and looked down,
Yeah.
and I had a buddy that went to one of those Richard Petty drive-along things, where you ride with them, and he told me, he said we were doing really good, and we ended the front straightaway, and we were coming up on that bank corner. And he said, the minute I seen that bank, and I knew I was going to die right there. What was it like the first time to run that high bank, that Butch bank?
Oh, I loved it.
Did you really?
It's kind of like a religious experience, wasn't it?
What?
If you people could just see the grin on his face.
He said, yeah. And it would scare me. I think the bank would scare me, being up that much. But as fast as you're running, you need that, really, huh?
Yeah. To stay on there.
Yeah. Otherwise, you slide
could just
down.
slide down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At speed, does that track look any narrower than it? And it looks narrow to me,
Yeah.
and maybe that's
It
just
is.
me.
It is when you're running 180 mile an hour.
I mean, it looks like two cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that three can go through there.
Yeah.
But it looks like two. That's all you want.
Yeah.
To me, and I can't imagine at the kind of speeds you ran it doing that. Was Daytona your favorite place to race?
Talladega.
Oh, you liked it better?
He'd run faster.
Boy, you can tell he's
That's
a racer,
real
can't
racer
you?
right there.
You can tell. You were what, 18 years old when you got in the first car?
Oh, yeah.
Had you done it before that?
No.
Well, what got you into saying, "Well, all right, I'm gonna be a racer here at 18"? What am I going? What fired you up to do that?
I went to a dirt track and towed a sprint car, and they had a stock car race. And the tow car, I'm running the race and run second. And I've been racing ever since.
Yeah, so you liked it, and it just kept on going,
Yeah.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, my friend, it has been our pleasure to have you on Event Radio. We love the history, we love all the old stuff, and that's just really cool. We really appreciate you taking the time to do it. And guys, there's a table set up with memorabilia, and if you have not come to one of these inductions and come to this museum and see the history on these people that
You're
we're getting
missing
to
out
talk to,
on a lot.
yeah, you're missing out a lot because this is really cool.
I enjoyed it. Thank
Hey,
you.
we appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Now I guess we got to cut you loose because them pretty girls are circling like sharks.
Congratulations on being inducted.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're at the Museum of Science and History. Well, I can't get that right. I try hard.
Just say Speed Zim.
Yeah,
in
Speed
Owensboro.
Zim in Owensboro. Guys, we are on Event Radio. We will be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and I get to introduce you not only to a sure enough celebrity, but no, I'm not kidding, but to a guy I have had the pleasure of calling a friend for a lot of years, and if you've watched any TV at all, you will know who this gentleman is, and I don't mean during his exotic dancing career, but the one and only Mr. Army Armstrong. My friend, how in the world are you?
Hey, Spivvy, doing great. Who's the guy behind you with the weird hat?
Yeah,
man? I tell
isn't
you
he
what,
strange, huh?
we used to call those hat wedges. Remember that? Man, you wedge, go down the street to the wind.
Yeah,
the
they
wind,
they were
yeah.
Wind resistant.
There you go. You got it.
Aerodynamic. Aerodynamic.
Spivvy, it's good seeing you again. You doing
Hey,
okay?
For an old fat guy, buddy, I'm doing really well.
Well, you know, the last time we were together, we were just talking a moment ago. Everybody had different color hair.
I know.
Everybody had. You could see everybody's belt back in the old days. Yeah, them days are gone, aren't
boy,
they?
I'm telling you. Listen, I want to compliment you. I've known you almost my whole life, and until I went over, I never knew you were an artist.
Really?
No, and those paintings they need to be in a gallery, my friend.
I do have one in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and I have one in the over in Knoxville, Iowa, and I have a motorcycle one in the Motorcycle Hall of Fame up in Ohio.
But I never knew you did that. We came over here and did a show with Cooper, and he told me that you had a bunch of these in your garage,
Yeah.
And I said, man, is this cool or what? I mean, I know you got a lot of talent. You've been, number one, you've been a TV celebrity for longer than I can remember. You were a championship drag racer for years, and now you're an artist too. What else you do?
Well, I tap dance on Wednesday night.
Sing on Sunday.
Yeah, there you go. No, I tell you what, we've been around this thing for a long time, and every one of us, we're talking about, bouncing back on good old days and everything. But man, the memories, that's what it's all about. I speeds and ETs and wins, that doesn't mean anything now. It's the memories, the handshakes, and I don't know. That's the reason I got involved. I gave a speech at the Hot Rod Hall of Fame a few years ago at Bowling Green in June, and a gentleman came over to me and started talking to me, and I found out real quick that he was a Bonneville guy. His name was Calvin Smith, down around your area.
Okay.
And
I know Calvin.
Okay, so we started talking, and I told him that Gray Baskerville, remember the photographer from Fire Run Magazine?
Sure.
Well, Gray and I were sitting on the back of a pickup truck in Memphis, Tennessee. We were doing a cross-country power tour.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we started in San Bernardino, California, hopped across the country. We're in Memphis, and Gray and I are sitting on the back of a pickup truck with the bed down, just talking about whatever, as the young guys were out doing what young guys, or we used to do, but young guys still do.
Wish we could still do it.
Yeah, there you go. But we're back to the memory thing now, so you got to keep that in mind.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I asked Gray, I said, man, you know everybody, you've been everywhere, you've seen everything, everybody knows you. What is the one thing somebody should do before they pass from this world? And he didn't hesitate. He said, you got to go to Bonneville.
Well, and that's on your list.
Yeah, I'm there. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I hope to button this thing up as a 34 Ford Roadster. And we're going to run a turbocharged Honda engine on fuel, and our record is 211 mile an hour. And if I'm successful, I'll bring it back and let high school kids take it around to the grade schools as the world's fastest bookmobile.
Is this cool?
And then that way it opens up to the little boys about, mathematics, science, so on and so forth and everything. So, as you know, I have, and you have too, always worked with young people and try to pass on what we've been fortunate enough to have.
Well, you've been a superstar, my friend, for your whole life, and not necessarily on the air. I mean, you've been that too, but you've been a superstar off the air to a lot of folks, and me included, as far as being very envious to the things you have done for, like, the young people and that kind of thing, that the unsung hero part that nobody knows.
Well, I went 7 years ago, I lost the ability to walk. I have a tumor in my spinal cord. We didn't know about it. And that kind of brings reality to you. Vietnam brought reality to me, and then having this tumor in my spinal cord and having to learn how to walk again. And it makes you stop and appreciate just how lucky we are to live in this country as free people and to be able to do things that we do. I don't know any other country in the world that has. Well, I guess England, they got some hot rod stuff over there, but most of it is old stuff from America.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've tried to share what the good Lord's blessed me with, and I've really enjoyed it. I have definitely enjoyed it.
Buddy, you have entertained millions, and you're not stopping today. You're going to be the master of ceremonies today at the Induction Hall of Fame, and rightly so. You're entertaining, my friend, and always have been. It's been fun,
Yeah, girls I dated in high school, they said that same thing. They did. I didn't get a whole lot going for me. But, I didn't know you knew about that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to tell everything.
Yeah, there you go. I've had an opportunity to read the program, and to be very honest, I have performed in front of millions of people, but I am more nervous right now.
We're safe now.
With you guys around. Yeah, oh, my God, Dale Funk just walked in. Everybody hold on to your wallet.
Yeah, grab your wallets, tape them up.
That's the kind of people that are down here. Funk and everybody. Carl Casper's supposed to be here. I understand that Don Bowles is coming over with this Ford. And a lot of the circle track guys out of Louisville area that I've heard about and haven't had a chance to see, but I actually had a chance to read about them in the program. I'm really looking forward to meeting these guys.
We've actually got to meet a couple of them already. And some of their stories are fabulous. I mean, they're fun,
there's one thing I noticed about racer stories. The older you get, the faster we used to go.
The faster we were.
Man, that's Mach 1. We coming through there and going 47 mile an hour, and by now it's working its way up to Mach 1.
Was Bonneville always on your bucket list?
Yeah, it really was. I've always wanted to do it, but didn't have the something to push me over. And Calvin came down and talked to me. Calvin Smith came and talked to me after the Hot Rod reunion show, and we became friends. And I'll tell you the story. I was over at the VA in Evansville, Indiana. Had a couple hours between doctors, so I said, I'm going to go find this guy named Bill Farmer. I've announced tractor pulling for a year, and I've seen his name on all the engine building lists, and I never met this guy, but I've talked about him. So I told the lady what I was going to do at the desk, and she said, well, it's just right over here. It's not too far. So sure enough, I walked over to the farmer's shop, And went in, and I said, "You don't know me, but," and he said, "Yes, I do." He
Oh,
said,
yeah.
"You've made me a lot of money." He said,
Yeah.
"You're welcome in my shop anytime." So we became friends. And about 2 weeks later, I go over there, and Calvin Smith is standing in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going, "What are you doing here?" And it's kind of like, "Who's on first?" "Well, what are you doing here?" "I don't know. He works here." Well, okay. And so we started talking about it. And Calvin, he's got a tremendous number of contacts.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me, he said, "Well, let's see if we can put something together." So we're working. He's got 2 fellas out of California that we're working with, and I'm excited about it. I really am.
Well, I tell you what, we gotta get together after you do it.
I would love to
do
yeah.
this. I think that, and I would love to just set you down one day when we got lots of time. And get to relive. I did an interview with a fella not a couple of weeks ago that's a photographer for Summit Motorsports Park.
Okay.
And I said, a lot of people shy away the photographers while they're doing this. And you and I both have done this.
Yeah.
And now the ones that just were persistent and did make the pictures and gave us the pictures, you wouldn't take anything for them because those are the memories.
Exactly. Was it Jerry Ream down at Bowling Green years
Yes.
ago? He was
Yes.
from Glasgow. Man, he was there. He's a tremendous photographer. And, but we're lucky to be from this part of the country because of Beach Bend. My God, to go anywhere in America,
Oh, yeah.
and they'll talk about Beach Bend. In Circle Track, I was out of San Jose, California 2 years ago, and the guys called me up and we were talking, and he was excited because I had access to Hobstock, to Tri-State
Oh,
Speedway.
yeah,
And they
sure.
want to know how they get out there in time and how they do it. And we heard I said, "Man, you're exactly right. They start on time, they stop on time." And but we're very fortunate. We're just lucky to be born at this time in history.
I think we grew up in the right time.
I do,
Ron.
too.
I don't think that we could have picked a better time to be kids and be car guys.
Exactly.
The car guys are a different group, and I'm honored to be one, and I know you are too.
It's kind of like it's kind of like tribes. Stop and think about it. And you just said it. We grew up. We started in the '60s. The music with Jan and Dean, Beach Boys, Surfing Safari,
Still
hot
the
rod
best.
cars, drag racing, so on and so forth. And then we go through the '60s, and by the time we get to the end, it's Janis Joplin saying, "Let's burn the courthouse down."
Yeah,
Like,
there
man,
you go. There you go.
You know,
There you go.
Gee, money. But a lot of youngsters today, they're kind of envious of what we went through because
Yeah.
we know what it's like not to have war around us and everything. And I found out firsthand. I was with the 101st Airborne Aviation Unit in Vietnam, and what I found out over there is again, we're blessed to be Americans, and there's all these guys putting these uniforms on and going over and defending our freedom. They're good people. They're people
Yeah.
just like you and I, Spivvy, and you got to realize that they volunteered for that.
That's right.
And
That's
I'm just don't hesitate to walk up and pat one on the back and say, "Hey,
always
yeah,
do.
Right.
Always
But,
do.
But I look back at you and think about you had a 360 Yamaha. You remember that?
Yeah,
I had a powerful 160 Honda. Hey, with ape hangers. I had the only 160cc bike in America with ape hangers, and they were off a swing bicycle. They were.
But we had fun. Buddy.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't matter. It
no.
didn't matter.
You're exactly right.
Well,
And,
they was both 7/8 bar.
Yeah.
it worked.
I'm sitting there thinking, hey, wait a minute. When I first put them on, the brakes were about 3 inches
Had to
short.
reach
And I'm
halfway
going,
down the
yeah,
bar
I'm
to
like,
get
wait a
it,
minute,
yeah.
we got to do something here. But
Yeah, there's got a little bit more engineering. We didn't know about engineering though back
Oh,
then. So
no,
I
no.
just sort of put it
Well,
on
that,
there. And,
that was back in the day when the big thing in mathematics was the number 2 pencil on the legal pad. Kids were rocking. And then when I have a daughter, I have 2 adopted daughters. Let me tell you a story. I have one of my daughters just came back from California. She's a doctor. My son Mason got the greatest job in the world. He reminds me of you a lot because he's the lead sound man for ESPN Motorsports.
Wow.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. He goes in on Wednesday, sets everything up. He's been doing it long enough that he didn't have to run the cable. He leaves the cable. All he
Cool.
does is go and set things back up.
Just
and I
make
think,
sure
well,
it does it.
Yeah.
He's a nice young man, buddy. I've
Well,
had the pleasure of knowing him
have
a
you-
while, and he's a nice young man.
Well,
he really is.
Yeah, we're awful proud of him. And then Lynn and I adopted 2 children from China.
Yeah.
And then after we had Haley, who's a freshman at Western now, and Camille, who's a junior at Owensboro High School. And then we went out and started working with other people, helping them adopt children. We've actually helped adopt 23 little girls and 7 little boys from China. Now, that's something I'm really proud of. That.
Well, guys, we talked about your off the camera stuff, and that's part of it. And guys, he doesn't quit. He keeps on going and finds a new challenge, masters that, and goes on. And I can't tell you how much the friendship has meant to me over these years with you, and not only sitting and watching you on TV and saying, "Hey, I used to run around with this guy," but just having the friendship there, and
I can remember sitting at your house and talking to your mom and dad.
Oh, yeah.
And your mother was so sweet and so
Oh, yeah.
nice and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And your dad, man, a hell of a storyteller.
Oh, listen.
I'm sitting there like a little kid. Yeah. Oh, really? No
And
kid.
you know,
and then
the
I'm
thing-
thinking, oh, I know if Spivvy's the way he is now. Mr. Williams, I just figured this out.
Yeah. Well, he did have some stories.
Yes,
he
most
lived
certainly.
a lot of
That's
stuff.
right.
You know, it was really funny. We talked a lot before he passed away, and he said the one job that he probably should have hung in there with was he got paid. I think back then it was $25 to drive a Pierce Era from St. Louis to Chicago, and get out of it, and stay in a hotel for 3 days, and then get back in it and go. I said, "Oh man," I said, "Who was your employer?" He said, "Well, I hate to admit it, but a fellow named Al Capone." That's what.
I see nothing.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Yeah, you were blessed to have.
Oh,
to have
listen,
the
I've
family
been
you
blessed
did,
my
and-
whole life,
yeah,
buddy.
Yeah.
Not only with great parents, but I've been blessed with great friends, and you are one of them.
That's when it's all over. When
That's-
it's all
that's what
said
it's
and
about.
done.
That's
yeah.
what it's about.
I've never seen a chain purse on a coffin. So
Yeah, my favorite song right now is "There's Not a Hitch on a Hearse." Trailer hitch on a hearse or something.
Ain't going racing.
Nah, he's not going to be at the racetrack. I know you got to get up there and you got to do what you do so well.
Well,
and
appreciate
and thank you for taking just a couple of minutes to be on Event Radio. Thank you for all the entertainment and all the happiness that you've brought to people on the TV, and thank you for all the happiness that you brought to people that the people don't know about.
Well,
that's what's so cool.
Yeah, seeing that kid smile makes it happen, and I want to thank you guys for what you're doing, because you're taking this thing and you're moving it into the future, and you're letting people know what's happened in the past and everything. I appreciate you inviting me over to talk to you.
Oh, hey, it's my pleasure, buddy. Besides getting close to lunch, and I figure you got enough money to buy,
Yeah, come on, let's go. I told him I knew him a while ago, and that's the reason I went to the back of the line. I was outside the building.
Well, the jail over here is full. That's
there
why
you
he's
go.
in here.
Exactly. There's first name basis. I thought I better get away from this guy. Hey,
Guys.
listen, Spiv, I got to run. All right,
Hey.
Thanks a lot for having me over. We'll catch
Thank you,
up with
Army.
you later.
Guys,
hey, listen,
there
both
is
you
no
guys,
better guy on this planet than my friend, Mr. Army Armstrong. Thank you so much, my
Hey,
friend.
it's my pleasure.
We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, we are back, and we actually get to talk again to a fella that it's not very often that you talk to a guy that is a world-renowned celebrity in the sport that he does. And he actually was inducted last year into this museum. And honest to goodness, this guy is truck pulling, period. If you have ever been to a truck puller, if you even have an idea about truck pulling, you got to know who this gentleman is. I think they even wrote a country song called Orange Blossom Special just for you. I don't know about that. But Mr. Alan Gaines, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm glad to be here. With the health I've had back through the years, I'm a lucky man.
Well, you're a lucky man right here for marrying this lady. Now, she's a champ, buddy. Look at this, boy. Did you sell a truck to come up with that big rock there, bud, or what'd you do? Huh?
No, we still got all four of them.
Okay, you still got all the trucks too, huh? I tell you what, one of his vehicles, he has graciously left here, the Orange Blossom Special truck, which has won more truck pulls. Did you ever count up how many there was?
I lost count after about the first year. Bob George, he booked me so many times in so many different places that I don't know. I just, in 94 we won national championship.
Sure.
Second in 95, and we won it again in 96. And the old four-wheel drive, I won it twice with it.
Well, that's pretty much old shoe to you by then, wasn't it?
I still got them, and I tell you, I can go charge the batteries on either one of them, and, they'd be running in an hour.
Well,
Wow.
you were the guy, booked in deals in racing has been a pretty much a standard, but it never was much in truck pulling until you came along. And you came up with some of the wildest creations of anybody in the world. The freight train deal, that had to keep you busy forever.
Well, see, Bob George was a fellow that when I built the little wheel standing truck, I called him one night and I told him, I said, Bob, I'm going to build something, and whether you want it or not, I'm going to build it. And he says, well, bring it to the next show. We took it to the next show. Bob Chandler was there. And that was when Bob was just beginning to get strong.
With the Bigfoot truck.
That's right. And the little truck, it was a big hit the first night. And then after about 3 shows, oh, Lord, it went crazy, what Bob. He said, I'm sure glad that I didn't back up.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's sort of hard not to go with a champion. I mean, it got to the deal. Probably everybody likes you except the guys that had to compete against you, and they probably wish you'd stayed at home, What's it been like a year? We fast forward a year, and you've been a member of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame now for a year. Has that changed anything for you?
I think about it regularly every week.
It's an honor.
It is. I think about it regularly every week of being here, the truck being here, and it's just an honor to be chosen for something like this. And I had no idea. I'm just an old farm boy.
An old farm boy that has won everything on the planet, other than that. Well, it's when you rise to the top of your game, and you were. I mean, there's no question. If you looked up truck pulling in the dictionary, your picture's in there. You should be in the Motorsports Hall of Fame, and I mean, I know you are, but you really should be.
Well, I'm proud to be there, and like I said, some of the things that I've done are, when I thought I was doing them, I'm out of my mind. It's like the twin-engine truck.
Yeah.
The only one in the world.
Yeah.
Tandem, twin.
Well, now, what did you wake up in the middle of the night with this vision, or is that the way it worked, or how did it work?
I walked in a place in Lexington that had the 25 Ford sitting in a shed.
Uh-huh.
And I asked him if he'd sell it. He said no. He called me in about a week. In 6 weeks from that day, the twin-engine truck was in the trailer, headed to a pull.
I like you because you don't back up, my friend. You get an idea, you go with it, and make it work. And that's what a real good racer does, And it don't matter what kind of racing you do. You figure out the way to get her done, And you're an ace at that,
You got to be the little bit on top of the man there. If you don't get a little bit on top of him, if you don't watch, he's going to be on top of you. And you've got to constantly be thinking ahead of what you can do to stay ahead. I mean, and this is back then, back in the 80s, it was a tough thing to go out there every weekend and stay on the road and not have to change engines and blow engines and stay competitive.
You'll be thinking this week what you're going to do next week.
Exactly. Well, listen, we saw you and your lovely bride walking through here, and we just couldn't help it but grab you and get you on Event Radio. You're one of our favorite guests of ever doing at the Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and we just couldn't help it but grab you on the way in. So we appreciate you taking a few minutes.
Everybody wondered that night when I done what I done at the induction.
Yeah, you might ought to tell everybody you proposed to this lovely lady.
If it would ever happen.
Well, it did happen.
Yep,
I mean, you don't. Just like I said in the beginning, my buddy Alan Gaines don't ever start nothing he don't finish. And so he did that. You did good because she's a nice lady. You did. You hit a home run there, buddy.
I think so. And hey, I don't have to worry about taking care of anything at the house. She does that, medicines and whatever, and you know. When you got somebody can do that, you don't have to worry about it going to the drugstore and whatever, but she's there.
Well, listen, my friend, we appreciate more than you giving us a few minutes to be on Event Radio because they will search you out here at this place. I mean, the autograph hounds are coming, big boy. Just get ready. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it so much.
Well, I appreciate being here and talking to you.
All righty. Guys, we are having a blast. You're on Event Radio from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and leave it up to T and I to find the prettiest lady in the building. And
this comes natural.
Yeah, we're good at this. What is your name, ma'am?
Jan Winders.
And you got pretty good reason to be here, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about it.
Chuck Winders is my.
That's right.
That's
that's
my
right.
husband, and he's deceased, and he's being entered into the Hall of Fame.
Pretty big honor, huh?
It is a big honor. It is a big honor.
Yeah. What was it like growing up or hanging out with a racer growing up?
Oh,
I mean,
my
you
gosh.
got to be growing up because you're not that old, but.
Yeah, we grew up together, and we raced together, and, I mean, the whole family. It was a family thing.
The racers' wives, they are technically the unsung heroes.
They're the backbone.
They're the backbone, really, of every race team. And people may not realize that, but you've lived it. You know.
Yes.
And you guys do so much that they get all the credit. The racers get all the credit, and the wives really do all the stuff.
You're being ugly here now.
No, I lived it, gal. I know.
Okay.
Mine did this, too.
Okay.
So,
yes,
but
it's true.
typical day before going to the races, what all did you do?
Oh my gosh.
Got
The
everything
day
ready to
before
go.
the race, yeah. The day before the race, he was irritable.
Was it?
Yes, very, very. Day before race, he was irritable. I mean, you had to ignore him and go around and just try to appease him and make sure everything was right.
All right, now I got to ask you,
Yeah.
all racers, a lot of them are superstitious, okay?
Yes.
They got certain underwear or certain socks. Was your husband that way?
He had a pair of cutoffs, I guess gym trunks he would wear.
Same ones.
Yes.
Had to
same
be
ones.
warm out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he come from softball.
Okay.
He played with the Kentucky Bourbons also.
Yeah.
So after that was all over with, he got into the racing, and those shorts were still there.
Hey, you ever figure out how many times you washed them shorts?
Oh my gosh, no. No, you had to really watch it because they were old.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I mean. A lot of racers, you'd be surprised. There are. I knew a guy one time that wore two different colored socks. And
oh my gosh.
yeah, and he said he did that because he won a race that he made a mistake one morning. And said he just wore them out, and he said he wanted to do everything just duplicated exactly. So that's where I came from on the shorts,
That's the style now. All these young kids are wearing different color socks. So.
Well, I'm not much into that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I seen that, but I thought they were just idiots.
yeah, that's right. Big honor for you to be
It's
here.
a big honor, yes, for me and my family.
You got a ready-made speech. We're not going to ask you about that.
I'm not doing a speech. I'm just thanking everybody that has helped him get to this point. And
Well,
no speech. I just wished he had been here to share it.
Exactly,
Yes, ma'am.
exactly, and everybody here does too, because he entertained a lot of people. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
a bunch of
He was
people.
a character. He was
Having
he
fun.
Was a character. Yes, I think his middle name was Fun.
Was it? Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, see, it's a shame he's not here because we could really rib him about being irritable the day before.
Yeah. And
But-
that even got to the day of.
Oh,
of
did it?
the
Did it
race.
carry
It
over?
got worse. It got worse.
Oh me.
Well, and the kids would know, clear the couch, get off the couch, go outside, whatever, and they didn't even want to talk to him for that day. So.
Listen, ma'am, we won't keep you. We just wanted to have a couple of minutes and talk to you a little bit about your husband and from the ladies' point of view.
Yes.
But we are honored that you would take a minute to spend with
Thank
us.
you so much.
And we're going to get out of here and have some fun. And thank you for being on Event
You're
Radio.
welcome. Thank
All
you.
righty. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back, guys. All right, guys. We are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions. And we have a special lady that joined us. And we actually, she joined us last year, but she has a special reason for joining us this year. Miss Rooster, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Well, if I was any better, I'd be a fat twin.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I really would. You got a special not only were you the curator, I guess you would say, of the museum.
I was the operations director here last year.
Well, all right, so it's a title I don't know about. Give me a break.
That's all right.
Yeah, but you've got a very special reason to be here today.
Yeah, I do. About 3 months ago, I moved to Florida. My father passed away in April. And a couple of days later is when I found out that he was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
That's right. That's right.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, I tell you what, Hal Miller, right?
Correct.
See, I'm smarter than the average. I'm smarter than I look.
I know, and you're not even reading. I'm
No, I'm not
so
gonna
impressed.
He actually was racing in the Owensboro area. He not only built Owensboro drag strip, but he built one of Terry's favorite places that you went. You raced motorcycles down there, right?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Down at
Windy Hollow.
Windy Hollow
right,
Speedway.
right.
Built the whole complex with the round track and the drag strip and all that fun stuff. We've been there.
Right.
We've been there.
That's
you
awesome.
you were kidding me that you knew a lot about all the racetracks except maybe the early one. Well, that's the only one I do know about.
Well, I remember being there one time in the concession stand. I mean, I was only 5, maybe 6 when we moved.
That's good. Make me feel real old, okay? Why don't you do that?
Well,
you know?
were you there for opening day? That was 1958.
Yeah, you are a nice lady. I like you, even though. But you may. Why don't you? Am I going to get a sponsorship from Depends next, or what am I going to get? You know.
Well, yeah. If you need that,
I'm
I'll
sure
work
you
on that
could
for
work
you.
it out for me. Okay, but at the old, actually, I was kidding you that I would be money ahead if I had never gone to the old racetrack.
Yeah, but your life would be boring.
I know.
If you hadn't learned about racing. There's a lot of people I talk to, of course they're drag racers, but they talk about how they got into it at the old drag strip on Veach Road here in Owensboro.
Yeah. And I actually was exposed to that by some very good friends of mine, two guys that you may know by Billy and Terry Sterrett.
Yeah.
They actually hauled me there as a kid. Because they also hauled me to Miami with that boat too,
With the
which
boat,
was
because
we were dear buddies.
Sure.
But I had a lot of friends from over here, Army Armstrong, which we had on the show a little earlier, and
he worked at the old track.
yeah. And we actually, that's a cool part about coming here is the memories you can actually relive when you walk into this building. How much does it mean to have Dad inducted in here?
I don't know that anybody can ever put into words what it really means because it's an emotional thing. It would have been really nice had it happened last year because he was here last year. He came to the event last year, you know. But it's overwhelming. But how do you put into words?
Well, it's a shame it works that way for some reason because Terry's the same way. Terry's dad's a member of this,
right?
And they have to sort of miss out. One thing that's cool about some of the people that are here today, they're here.
Absolutely,
you know,
right.
and they get to experience that, and that's just so cool.
Yeah.
I think that's neat.
It is. The Hall of Fame is just such a neat thing, and I'm glad that Bobby and P.O. put it together years ago, and it's just there's so much history in Kentucky.
Yeah.
That is nationwide, worldwide. The Haydens, you know, I mean, they're going all over the world. That we need to preserve that, and the Hall of Fame helps do that, and to share the information and share folks. I didn't know Jack Roush was from Kentucky until I saw his picture on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
I look at the picture on the wall that's huge over here and went, hey, that's my drag strip. He's standing right there.
Yeah.
Oh, why? People don't know those things, so I think it's cool
there's
that
a lot
Jack's
of it.
in this class as well.
Yeah, there is there's a lot of people in this thing that did a lot of stuff that just like Army. Army has done so many things that people, they know about seeing him on TV and all that kind of stuff, but they have no idea. They don't really know him like we know him, you know. And you come to the Hall of Fame and you get to sort of pry a little bit into their lives, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
It is. It's nice to get to know these folks, and it's been enjoyable the last 2 years that I've been able to hang out here with all these guys.
So have you turned into a beach babe or what?
Or what?
An or what? An or what?
I'm an or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of Florida did you go to?
I'm in Fort Pierce. I'm on the East Coast, and my 2 days of vacation gets interrupted by 5 days of work. I don't know why that's happening.
You need to work on that.
I'm
sure you can figure out a way to fix it. You fix everything else.
I'll figure it out one of these days.
All right. Listen, lady, we thank you for stopping and talking to us for a few minutes because you're a busy gal. You know what I mean?
It's fun.
And they just opened a new restaurant, and I think of you every time I go by it because the name of it's Roosters.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it's a cool wing place and all that, and it's really neat. And every time I drive by there, you're the lady that I think of going in there, and it's just a cool deal. And
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for a second visit to Event Radio. This one's official because of your dad, and we want to extend our condolences with him not being here because we know what it's like. Terry and I both have experienced that, and until you've been there, you really everybody gives you things that they say, but I'm sorry is the only one that really you can do. And that's what we're saying to you. That's it, you know.
Yeah, we were blessed. Dad had an accident at the farm. He was working the last day that he got injured, and he went through 3 months of pain, but you would have never known it. And so we got to say everything we wanted to say and hear everything we wanted to hear. So there's a blessing in that. And if we can all be like Hal Miller just a little bit, it'd be a much better place.
Oh, it would be a wonderful place. It would be wonderful.
Guy. But the restaurant's still going, so if you're here on Sunday mornings,
Ooh, we might go
Come see us.
get
That's
some
right.
good food. All right.
That's right.
Miss
Thanks,
Rooster,
guys.
thank you so much for being on Event Radio. We're going to cut you loose and let you go and
Appreciate it.
go back to your public here.
Thanks, buddy.
Guys, you're on Event Radio. We're having just too much fun from the inductions of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Rooster.
All right, guys, we are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and we got an old buddy here that's joined us, and a very, very cool lady, and she's probably got the biggest pair of shoes to fill of anybody in this building because of who you are, Miss Susan McClenathan, and you got another name that you go by just every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. It's
That would be
Roush.
That's what I thought. And you are the daughter of the Cat in the Hat that's getting Mr. Jack Roush that is getting inducted into this. And you know what a lot of people have said about your dad that we talked to at this ceremony? They said, I had no idea Jack Roush was from Kentucky.
Yeah, he was born in Covington, and we spent, excuse me, through my childhood. You know, I'm the oldest of three children. Through my younger years and you know, even into my teens and so forth, we spent a lot of time in Kentucky.
Of course, Uncle Don kept you down there a while,
Yeah,
right?
Some absolutely. But my grandmother, even though they lived in Manchester, she worked in Maysville, and my parents met at Berea. My mom is from Monticello, and so every conceivable holiday, we'd be in Manchester, sometimes and Monticello the same
Okay.
weekend, you know, and then head
So your
home.
Kentucky roots run pretty deep, huh?
Yeah, well, I was born in Berea.
Really?
Yep.
Cool. That's neat. That's neat. Well, see, I knew you were a classy gal for something there. I figured that out. You knew what sweet tea was and everything, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Say y'all.
Now, along with being that, you are very much standing on your own 2 feet, young lady. You just won the NMRA championship
Yes.
drag race deal.
Yes.
How about that? Is
Well,
that cool or what?
Yeah, that is a very exciting accomplishment. I've been racing. Well, Don Bull's son, Donnie,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I, we actually got to know each other, you know, when we were little, as our fathers were friends.
Donnie told me that he thought playgrounds were at the drag strip. You know, when he was a kid, and you guys played, and there he is, right there. He's taking pictures, huh?
Yes.
Can't get away from him, can you? Be looking for a slide or a swing set or something here.
Yeah.
No.
But 5 years ago, we decided to run our cars on propane. We went and did something a little different. And in those 5 years, between Donnie and I, between the two of us, we've won 5 championships.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I know. You guys are the bad guys on the block. That's the way it should be. Hey, let me ask you something. I know it is for him because I've asked him this question. I don't think I've ever asked you. How hard is it to come from as famous a family as it is when you get to the racetrack? They expect you to win.
You know, I just try to be myself, quite honestly. I love racing. I love challenging myself.
But they don't ever expect Susan and Donnie to have a bad day. And you're human, gal. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
we're
does.
We're
you
just
know?
people.
Oh,
you
I know that, but the crowd perception is what I'm thinking, and the competitors, they think, oh man, they're here. Gosh, what am I going to do now? You know.
Well,
And unfortunately, all racers, on any given day, anything can happen. You know.
yeah. You know, I've got a 9-year-old daughter, and she started junior dragsters this year. And one of the things that I thought was really important to me as a mother, she's very competitive, very
Imagine
competitive.
that. Yeah, imagine that.
And the thing I liked about her being involved in drag racing, particularly since she has the opportunity to do this, you know, where I didn't, because you know I was out of the house before junior dragsters was even a word.
Right.
But you know, she's going to go through, and this year she's going to do a lot of losing before she wins.
Well,
and the part that I really appreciate about that is the fact that she's going to learn about sportsmanship, real sportsmanship, and how to handle things when they don't go your way, because racing is hard.
drag racers are no doubt, and I've said this to a lot of people a lot of times, the absolute best people on the planet. And I say that because number one, race cars teach you respect. It's not like shooting a ball and missing the basket. If you don't shoot the ball right in the race car, it will bite you. And you don't have a second chance. You don't drag racing especially. It's all a matter of seconds and it's over. And you got to be on your game. And it teaches you not only responsibility, it teaches you respect, and it teaches you how to fix things right the first time and not have to go back and relick your calf. Is that a fair statement? Would you say?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
More than most stuff, and it's fortunate. I sit and look around in here for me, and I'm an old fat guy, okay? But there are a lot of people here that I grew up around at your daughter's age. Maybe I was a little older, but still, the boat over here, the Sterretts. I rode all the way to Miami with those guys looking at that thing turned sideways on a trailer because they haul my little fat butt with them. And then you step it up to Dale Funk and those guys. And Dennis Collins, the little quarter midget guy, is a dear friend of mine. We've been friends since we were 7 years old, you know. And I walk through here, Cooper, and people through here, and it's the memories. And you can go forever. And the thing that's so cool about her, the kids that she meets junior drag racing will be her friends for the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, she's grown up at the drag strip. We started racing. Donnie and I started racing in 2006. And, you know, she was just an infant then. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she's really grown up around it, just like I did. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was her age, up through I think I was 13.
Yeah.
Right around 13 when Dad broke up with Wayne Gap. But, you know, in the series that we race in, NMRA and NMCA, you know, it's like family. We go to 14 events a year. And, you know, these people were very, very close to many of them. And
you're buddies until the green light comes on, and then you're not buddies anymore until the wind lights come on, you know. It's a pleasure to get. I know you're here with your dad being inducted into the Hall of Fame. How much does that mean to it's unusual for us, and I'm going to tell you because Terry's dad is a member of the Hall of Fame. So for you being the daughter and your dad being inducted, Donnie's dad is in here. What is it like being the second generation here? Tell me about that.
Oh, it's you know, I'm very humbled and very proud to be able to continue Dad's legacy, especially in the drag racing, because that's where I grew up. You know, for my brother who also races, you know, he's into the road racing, but
right.
that's what Dad was doing when.
Has your dad ever attempted anything he didn't excel at? I don't think so.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm sure there have been little ripples in the road, but he tried road racing. He mastered that. He tried drag racing. He mastered that. Now he's done it into the stock car business. He's mastered that. There's got to be something that he's, you know, maybe crashed a model airplane or something, or run a boat off in the river, or did something.
You know, if I'd have to say, it'd be house repair.
Would it? Okay.
Yeah,
normal racer.
Yeah, whenever he picked up a hammer and a screwdriver around the house, all of his kids would disappear. Because,
run, huh?
You know,
yeah.
There was about to be language used that Mom didn't want us to hear.
There you go. There you go. Listen, lady, I appreciate you're in high demand here, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes for us.
My
you're
pleasure.
always so gracious and so nice to be able to give us of your time and speak to the people, and we appreciate it. And congratulations on the Cat in the Hat getting in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. I think that's so cool.
It is, really.
Guys, the one and only Miss Susan McClenathan. It is always great to see her, unless you're in the other lane, and then you're in trouble. There's no doubt about it. You're in big boy trouble. The one and only. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Well, thank you.
Guys, you're on Event Radio. We are at the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the induction ceremony, the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. And we have a gentleman that, very famous fella with us. And I'm going to tell you, when I grew up, and a lot of you people that are listeners, you listen to a radio station called WLS out of Chicago. And there was a car dealership, Mr. Norm's Dodge, that spent a lot of money there. Well, if you were from our end of the country, there was a different dealership that you went to that was the performance car dealership, the best in the world. And this happens to be the gentleman itself that was the head guru of that, V.V. Cook Chevrolet, and 3rd in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky. And I guess you guys have the distinct honor of selling more Corvettes than anybody in the world, don't you?
Not in the world, no. There's a dealer up in Atlantic City now, Kerbick Chevrolet.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with them, yeah.
But, of course, I got out in 81. So.
Yeah, I know, but y'all were the bad guy on the block.
Well,
now,
that's true.
And you had a tradition. I bought, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You had a salesman, and I think his name was Harvey Clendenning.
Yes.
And really a nice fella, and I want to thank you for him. I don't know if he's still around or not, but I was a snotty-nosed kid back then, and he took the time. I'd always go over on the used car lot,
right,
over there, and he took the time to wait on me, and I thought more of that than anybody in the world. That, I mean, he probably did that to a million kids, but I actually turned out to be a fair customer because I know of 2 new Corvettes from you, and I know 2 used ones that I bought from you that I can think of, and there may have been some more. But it was, you go to Louisville, a trip to your store was like going to Disney World.
Well, for us, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, it was like going to Disney World. You had a tradition back then in the 60s model Corvettes, 65, 67, right in there. You added a third taillight to them.
That's
you remember
correct.
that? And I think that was not done anywhere but at V.V. Cook.
Well, we did that for members who were members of the Kentuckiana Corvette Club, so we could tell who was members and who weren't.
Well, I knew that. I didn't know what the reason was, but I thought that was cooler than pockets on a shirt. That you all did that, and it was just really cool because they actually look better with the 3 across
That's
each side.
true. That's right.
And I know that I took one up there, and I don't remember. This is one that I scrounged up somewhere else, and one of your guys tuned that thing up for me.
Harold Dahl.
Yes, and that boy, you talk about a bad hot rod when it came out of there. I mean, it got this fat boy's attention. I don't mind telling you. Have you been having fun, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Still loving cars.
Still loving cars. I work for my ex-brother-in-law, Bob Hook Chevrolet, in Louisville, Kentucky. Bob Hook Sr. married my sister.
Oh, okay. Got to keep all them Chevys in the family, right?
And so his son runs the place now.
Okay.
So he says that he gave me a job over there to keep me off the street now.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. No, he's a smart man because you can teach him a lot, my friend. You can teach him a lot. What does it mean to V.V. Cook? I mean, you've been maybe not the TV celebrity, but you've been a celebrity for young people forever with the dealership. What's it mean to you to be inducted into the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame?
Well, that's quite an honor. I don't know that I deserved it, but I'm enjoying it.
Hey, just take it in where you can get it.
That's right.
No, you guys had some really cool hot rods back then, some race cars and stuff, and you earned your way in here.
Well, we had a Corvette racing team that started.
Imagine that, as many Corvettes as you sold,
with
right?
the 63 first that were national champions in the Sports Car Club of America in 69 and 70, and then we got a 69 that we raced, and we were national champions with it, 71, 72, and then we sold it to a guy in Dallas, and he was national champion, 73 and 74. So we had 6 national championships out of that bunch.
Well, that sort of might let you think that you knew what you were doing, don't you think?
Especially on Corvette.
Yeah.
Well, I had good help.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you guys were the bad guy on the block. Now, there's no doubt about it. You, honest to goodness, when I grew up, everybody, when dealers put their name on the back of a car,
sure,
there were people back then that would just get that name and put it on the back of their car just so people would think that they got it from you. That's pretty cool.
I remember that happening. I mean, that really did happen.
He thinks I'm kidding him, but I am not kidding. There were actually people that got the little deals and stuck it on their car just so they could say that it came from there.
That's probably right.
It is right. I know. I lived it.
Fact is, one of my ex-employees had 1,000 of those license frames made, and they've sold them all to people on the internet all over the country, and people who bought cars back when from Canada and Missouri and California and Florida and there have called and buy one to put on their present car.
Well, I've never outgrown it. I still got a Corvette.
Good.
A guy asked me, said, "How do you get in it?" I said, "Getting in it is not the problem, but you ought to see me get out of it." That's what's really cool.
That's true.
But I think it'd be cool to have one of those.
We'll get you one.
Yeah, well, it was a very special place to me growing up.
Did y'all receive the first 53 Corvette to ever come out?
Yeah.
No, the one we had was number 153. They made 300 of them.
Oh, okay.
First one came off the line in June, and we got ours in November.
Okay.
And I had to go to service. I got called up to service, so I didn't need a Corvette with 2 seats and hardly no trunk. So we sold it to Bolts Chevrolet in Madison, Indiana, because he had a son that was turning 81, and he didn't sell enough cars to get one of the first ones. And so the price on them, if you got a Bel Air 4-door, then it was $18.18. The Corvette was $36.36. And so Chevrolet came down and said, we went to a lot of trouble to get you that first batch of cars. How come you sold it? My father said, well, because we got 36 for it, and it had 3,000 miles on it. Okay.
Can you imagine what it would be now?
Well,
360,000 probably, you know.
No, a Cadillac Chevrolet dealer in Butte, Montana, bought one on the Barrett Jackson auction about 2 months ago for $1.1 million. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he's got it.
He better like it. That's what he better do. He better like it.
That's right.
There's just so many things to ask you, sir, because you got to live firsthand what all of us wanted to, you know, as far as that dealership goes. Do you have any idea how many Corvettes you sold the whole time?
No idea. Well, we started in 53, and we got out of business in December of 81, so I don't know that we ever kept count. But
well, I know when you would go down the used car side, and that was on was that Kentucky Street? Is that what it was? Okay, because I know the dealership address was 3rd and Kentucky. I remember that.
Second Street. Yeah.
That was 2nd Street. Okay.
Oh.
But when you go down through there, it looked like a Corvette car show in front of that building. I can still see that building in my mind. And buddy, that was we would go to one of Carl Casper's shows, and you would not go home until you went to V.V. Cook Chevrolet and looked at this stuff. It was so much fun. You still having fun, I take it?
I just turned 83, and I'm doing pretty well for an old fella.
Well, we don't want you out skateboarding naked anywhere. Now, don't be doing that.
Let me say this. I was going to work the other day, and a fella in front of me had a bumper sticker on. It said, the older I get, the better I was.
The better I was?
That's right. I thought that was pretty good.
At least that's what you tell everybody, right?
That's right.
Experience.
Yeah. I want to thank you for a lot of things. Number one, I want to thank you for being on Event Radio and taking the time to be with us. Thank you for being having such a cool place for me when I was growing up.
Thanks for the memories.
Oh yeah, the memories there are just tremendous. And believe it or not, the old cars I bought from you were pretty doggone good cars. You know, they were pretty good, and they were fast too, buddy. We had a lot of fun with them.
Let me tell you this little story. I was going to work the other day, and I was in the left-hand lane, getting ready to turn left onto the Waterson Expressway. And here came a fellow going the other direction, and he was in the far left lane, and he was going north on the Waterson. I was trying to go south. Brand new 2014 red Corvette coupe, red interior, polished aluminum wheels. So I rolled my window down, and I said, that is really a beautiful car. The guy said, well, I've wanted one of these all my life.
Yeah.
And I finally could afford one, so I bought one.
Yeah.
I said, well, let me tell you my story. I've had one of those most of my life, and now I can't afford to buy one.
There you go. Let me ask you something from being the car dealer. And this is, my dad always taught me this, and he said the world's getting out of whack when the people that make something can't buy it. Is that true, or is that...
That's probably right.
They really have gotten pretty doggone expensive, you know.
Well, and not only that, they've got so many systems on them now.
Oh, yeah.
My father told me in 1950 that automobiles are going to make more progress between 1950 and 2000 than they did from 1900 to 1950.
Really?
I thought he didn't know what he's talking about, but he was right.
He's pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. What about the new motorsports park at Bowling Green? Are you familiar with that?
I haven't been down there. I was down to get when Alan and Don Barker, my Corvette team, were inducted into Corvette Hall of Fame.
Right.
But I hadn't been back since they've opened them.
Well, it's pretty exciting. They've got it booked quite busy, and they rock and roll there. They're having fun.
True.
Mr. Cook, thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes
pleasure.
to join us on Event Radio. I've thought about this little interview with you all the way up here because, man, you made my life so much fun with the products you sold. And then Mr. Clendenin, as nice as he was to me, and I was a snotty-nosed little kid that actually I'm going to tell you how this came about, me coming to you the first time. I went to my local Chevrolet dealer, Webb Chevrolet.
Right.
And they had a Stingray fastback in there. And the salesman refused to show it to me.
Oh.
And I thought, well, okay. And I don't know. He said you aren't Corvette material or something like that. I didn't know what it was. But I had a deal with my dad. My dad was a pretty successful guy, and he wouldn't just buy it and give it to me, but he would actually work out borrowing the money and let me work for him and take part of my check and pay it back.
Very good.
And I learned what it took to get it that way.
Right.
But I thank you for being progressive enough to not label people.
Well,
and I enjoyed all my dealings with VV Cook Chevrolet. I got to tell you, it was just cooler than pockets on a shirt.
Well, we're glad you felt that way.
I still do, my friend. I wish it was still there. Guys,
right.
we the one and only Mr. VV Cook has joined us on Event Radio, and we appreciate that so much. We're going to get out of here, and no telling what kind of trouble we're going to get into, but we will be into something. We're at the Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions in Owensboro, Kentucky at the Museum of Science and History. Do not go anywhere. You're on Event Radio. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame inductions, and I got my old buddy here with me, a gentleman that should have probably been in this from the beginning. And they've just now figured out how to slow him down long enough to get him in here. Absolutely, no doubt, one of the most talented gentlemen I have the pleasure of knowing, Mr. Bob Taylor. How are you, my friend?
Oh, man, I'm tickled to death for that. And it's good to see you again, and I appreciate
Well, is the truck, did I wax it good enough for you? I mean, does it look all right?
I'm proud of it.
All right, well, I'm proud of it, too.
I'm tickled to death with it.
Ray Charles would like that. But
Matter of fact, it is. You actually made this one a little bit too nice for me.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I'm serious.
You've had some nice stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I know, buddy, but let me tell you something. We've got to go do a dirt track motorcycle race tomorrow, and we're taking the old truck. We're taking the old one because this one, I like this thing, boy. You did a great job on this. We actually did a show earlier that the folks have had a chance to listen to by now, and I asked you a bunch of stuff, but how important is the Motorsports Hall of Fame to Bob Taylor?
Well, it's a great honor. I can't believe that I'm getting honored this way, especially in the Pinstripers Hall of Fame and now Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, it's just because you earned it. It ain't nothing,
Well,
you know.
When they sent me the info, I thought to myself, why me? Then I thought for a second, and I said, what are you talking about, man? I'm in the middle of, for years, this motorsports culture.
Yeah, you're it.
I did a little bit of everything from tractor trailers to bicycles.
Yeah, I know.
And caskets.
Yeah, I know. I know. We don't want to go there. We're not looking for one of them anytime soon.
Yeah, really.
This is a pretty neat place. Is this your first trip over here?
Yes, it is. I've been in Owensboro a lot of times, but this is the first time I've been here, and I don't even know how long this has been open.
Well, it's been here for quite a few years. But the Hall of Fame people just took it over last year and have turned it around into a fun place. You probably see some of your handiwork in here, don't you?
Oh yeah, I know. I tell you what, I'm impressed about this place. I'm really impressed. And it gets near Owensboro, they got to stop at this place. It's gorgeous.
It's cool, isn't it? Well, your old buddy, the guy that you give that you said gave you the supreme compliment when we talked earlier, is going to be your MC today, and he's going to get to introduce you up there. Your buddy, Mr. Army Armstrong, is going to be the head man upstairs. So
I hope we don't tell the truth.
Well, we've already had him on here. He lied to me, so no, Army's a great guy, and it's funny that the story you tell that story about the wood grain on his car.
Well, yeah, it's been 15 years ago. Of course, I did all kinds of cars for Army, and he had this 1951 Nash Woody wagon that he repainted, and he wanted to put the wood grain back on it. and I did a wood grain job on it, around the windows, like they did stock.
Yeah, like a yeah.
Yeah, when he picked that up, one of the best compliments I ever had is said, "Bob, I'd fool a woodpecker."
Yeah, and it really would, because it was just. I knew you'd get a kick out of that one, T. Because he's ready now. I mean, you actually the show car circuit, and you have some more guys that were into this with you that are coming into here too. That was a big time too, wasn't it?
Okay, one thing I like to mention, I used to judge custom auto shows too.
Okay.
And I like to say one thing about a myth about ISCA, International Show Car Association judging.
Uh-huh.
I judged for about 8 years and went to probably 15 shows across the Great Lakes Division here in the Midwest.
Uh-huh.
And no producer or show director ever said, "We want that car to win."
Uh-huh.
They said, "You go out and do your job, and we want you, when you leave here, in your mind, you did the best job you could."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, people say, "Well, if you're a member of that thing,
you ain't that kind of guy, buddy. You wouldn't pull the punches because number one, nobody can make one any slicker than you can.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, no, I mean there's facts are facts, and so what it took to get it there. And the best compliment I think that I've ever heard you give was somebody had a chip in a paint job, and you told them and said, "Hey, it wasn't done that way originally." And you don't hurt a guy because of that. He's used it,
Exactly. We was in Memphis, Tennessee, doing that show down there, one of Carl Casper's show, and there was other judges that come all over the eastern part of the United States. There's generally about 6 of us there to do that.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy Don Sturgeon looked at this paint job and said, "Don, this car, even the door jambs look like they're just hacksaw thin blade all the way around perfect."
Yeah.
I said, "With all these colors and the guy that's way he did this is a super paint job." And the other guy said, "Well, you got a chipper in the door." I said, "Buddy, the guy didn't paint it that way."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's got my vote for best paint.
Well, now I want to compliment you. I got to meet your sweet wife today and your daughter today. Both those ladies are way too nice to be around you, my friend.
Well, they got lucky.
They got lucky. Okay. And your grandson, he said on our Suburban, he did a little bit of sanding and stuff on it, But excellent job, guys. The Taylor's House of Color, there is no better in this country.
Oh, come on, man.
There's not. I mean, hey, come out here and look. You think I'm jiving, you come out here and look,
Man, there's some great artists in this country.
Yeah, and you're it, my friend. You're it. You're for sure one of them. I'm going to tell you that. You, Kenny Youngblood, some of the guys that that's the caliber art that you do. It's just you don't need an introduction.
There's a guy out of Cincinnati, Bill Rail. I know you.
I know
Bill
him.
Rail.
Yeah.
He does fantastic work. And back in the years earlier when he was doing it gave me a lot of impression to turn out good work. I always wanted to see how I could do each job that would be better than the last one.
Well, buddy, I don't think you could do a better job than you did for the old fat guy here at Event Radio on this Suburban, because it is absolutely gorgeous. They put it in the front door of this place for everybody to see, and pretty good easel for you out there. That's one I'm proud of it. I know you are too. Yeah.
When I come around the corner, first thing that hit me, I was about a half a good block away, and I seen that thing sitting there just.
Well, on the way over here, we had to outrun 2 fire trucks. That's what they were chasing us.
Well, it don't look that real, but maybe you had a blind fireman.
Yeah, well, whatever. Listen, my friend, we're going to let you get out of here because they're down here buying your book. And one of the things, how do they get the book? Tell me, because there's going to be a ton of people after they hear the first show, and we didn't give them enough address on the first to get the book, so now they can get it. Just the website, is that it? Or
yeah, bobtaylors.com.
Okay.
I'm at 514 Dakota Avenue in Louisville, Kentucky.
And is there a phone number?
502-361-7751 right there in Louisville.
There you go, guys. And if you want the book, trust me, it is a showstopper book. To get this fat guy to read one from cover to cover, it's got to be good, and I sure did. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
A lot of people think it's about work itself, striping, and that sort of thing, how to. It's not. It's about my life, how good the Lord's been good to me. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you in this beautiful Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Well, my friend, you deserve to be here, and like I said in the beginning, you should have been here from the beginning. That's but everybody sort of figures it out as time goes along, and Bob Taylor has rightly got a corner of this whole place that you should be dedicated to you.
I appreciate that. I know part of that book, it says Not So Colorful Life of pinstripe artist Bob Taylor of Bob Taylor's House of Color. It's pretty rough journey.
He got a pinstripe shirt on, T-Bone. Did you see that? That's cool, huh? Listen, my friend, we're going to cut you loose. Your public is calling, and we don't want to be totally hoggish. You know, we already are. We realize that. But thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time on Event Radio. Time is the most important thing any of us have. And thank you for allowing us to take part of it. We appreciate it.
I'm honored to be on your great show. It's been a pleasure.
Well, buddy, it's been ours more than yours. Guys, we are at the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame, getting to talk to my buddy, Mr. Bob Taylor, one of the inductees in this event. If you have a chance to come to Owensboro, check it out. If not, just go to our archive page. There's a Bob Taylor show on there, and you can go on there and meet him up close and personal and know him sort of like we do. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Well, T, what do you think about the Motorsports Hall of Fame? Gosh, we got to talk to just about everybody except Mr. Carl Casper, and they had a line. He's the most popular man on the block today.
Kind of looked like getting to see the Pope.
Yeah, we could get to see the Pope, I think, easier. But, boy, were our guests cool or what?
We always have pretty cool guests, but there was no bad ones in this bunch at all.
And then Mr. V.V. Cooks Jr. brings us this thing of quotes, and they are so cool, boy. I mean, we would read them all to you, but we can't. There's just too many of them. But these people, I don't think there's a one that doesn't deserve to be here. Do you?
Not at all. Not at all.
I think every one of them has earned a right to be in this Hall of Fame induction.
Like you said, Bob Taylor should have been here before.
He should have been here from the beginning. As many cool things as that gentleman has done, and as many works of art as he has had out here rolling around. And of course, we wish we could bring you the whole ceremony with Army Armstrong doing the MC. He is such a talented.
Can't go wrong.
No, he's such a talented man. It's just unbelievable. And a great friend of mine for a lot of years, and a friend of yours and Elmo's, and he's
been around a while, hasn't he?
He's been around, but just great people. I mean, this has been a treat to come over here.
Well, anybody that doesn't come to this speed sim here in Owensboro, I mean, I know a lot of people don't know about it, but you will. This is awesome. I mean, it is too cool.
Yeah, you got to come over and just walk through it and look at all the cool things. I mean, this is
you'll make lap after lap because you see stuff that you didn't see the first time.
Yeah, and make sure you have enough time to devote to sitting around reading the cards that are on the vehicles and the helmets and the fire suits and stop and see our buddy Cooper Hayden's display with all the cool stuff there. I still think he's stalking us every time I look at that mannequin with that fire suit. But this has just been a real treat for us, and I've had a blast.
It's been an honor for me to do this since the Pop was inducted in 2011.
Yeah,
I said 2012, but I missed a year. But it's just too neat. You can tell all the guys here that are accepting awards today, they're tickled to death to be here.
Yeah, well, time flies and you're having fun, right?
Don't it?
I guess we better get on the dusty trail, get in the new Griswold wagon. Boy, we're styling today.
We're styling.
Bob Taylor made us style.
But flames like that, the fire truck was following.
Yeah, they were. Fire truck chased us on the way over here. They just don't believe us. We told them that. Guys, we never end a show without thanking the most important people next to you, the listener, in our world, our sponsors, the great people at Beach Bend Raceway, Beach Bend Park, and Splash Lagoon.
Quick Fuel Technology.
Final Finish. There you go. I got yours that time.
You got mine that time.
Yeah, that's right. The Gearhead Gazette magazine, guys, the #1 car guy magazine on the internet, gearheadgazette.com. Make sure you go there.
I got Holly in there for you.
Yeah, you got Holly in there. If you can't find a part for your hot rod from the nice folks at Holly with as many brands as they sell, guys, you don't have a hot rod. That's all I can say.
You don't have much of nothing. Holly can't fix it.
That's right. And last but not least, we want to always tell you and always remind you, let you know how much we appreciate you listening. If you like what you've heard, please tell a friend and help this old guys out. But if not, keep it to yourself. We're going to hit the road. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk again. See you.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.